Today on Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on a Big Ten matchup coming up here in Week 5 of this 2021 season, and that's going to be between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Penn State Nittany Lions. Big matchup for both these teams coming in to Week 5. We got Penn State coming in. This is a team who's now in the top 4, and overall, this is a Penn State team that I could definitely see winning the Big Ten this season. They're a big contender in the Big Ten East right now. As for Indiana's off to a rough start at 2-2. Many people expected them to be potentially undefeated at this point in the season, but Indiana definitely has had a bit of a disappointment of a start to the season, but they could definitely turn things around potentially with a big win here if they can win in Penn State. So big match for both these teams. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Indiana last week beat Western Kentucky only by 2, 33-31 was the final score there. A win's a win, but this team is 2-2 right now. And I mean, I gotta say, Indiana, this has been a big disappointment team so far this season. Personally, I expected Indiana to potentially be a Big Ten East contender. Like going into this season, I was thinking it'd either be Ohio State or Indiana winning the division, and rightfully so. I mean, Indiana has returned a ton from 2020. Michael Penix was on fire, it seemed, but so far this season hasn't looked as good. They lost to Iowa, lost to Cincinnati as well, and they had a close win over Western Kentucky. So this will be a big game for Indiana and potentially turning around their season. I mean, this could be a huge momentum booster, beating one of the top 5 teams in the nation, especially on the road. But for Penn State, they beat Villanova 38-17 last week. They're 4-0 with a 4-game winning streak. Penn State is on a roll, and they're playing very well right now. I mean, the Big Ten East is wide open. You got Michigan, you got Penn State, and Ohio State. I mean, I could easily see Penn State winning that division, especially this season. They're probably my favorite right now, I'd say, to potentially win the Big Ten. So this could definitely be Penn State's year, especially considering Ohio State is not in the top position as of right now. Game will be on Saturday, October 2nd, University Park, Pennsylvania. So Nittany Lions are the home team here, and it's also going to be a night game, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time is the kickoff time for this matchup. Spread currently has Penn State by 12.5, so Nittany Lions are favored pretty heavily, not too surprising. ESPN FPI is especially going with Penn State. 82% is the current probability there. So Penn State pretty heavily favored according to the FPI in particular. Your over-under is 53.5, and in the series history, it's been all Penn State. 22-2 is the current series record between these two teams. Penn State leading, so Nittany Lions really have had no problem winning in this matchup. However, Indiana did win the last matchup, and they do have the 1-game winning streak as of right now. But in the last 5 matchups, Penn State leads at 4-1. So overall, once again, Penn State is definitely, they've definitely had the more success in this series. Here's a stat comparison for this matchup. Indiana's got 29 points per game, 29 points allowed as well. They got 228 pass yards a game, 138 rush yards. And then for yards allowed, 229 passing, 108 rushing. As for Penn State, 31 points per game, 15 points allowed, 307 pass yards a game. Sean Clifford playing pretty well, and then 113 rush yards a game. Then for yards allowed, 204 passing, 122 on the rushing end. Your recent matchups for both these teams, these are your previous 4 matchups. We got Indiana, they beat Western Kentucky obviously by 2. Big win over Idaho a couple of weeks ago, but they lost to Cincinnati by 2 touchdowns and to Iowa by 4 touchdowns. So I mean, once again, in those big matchups, Indiana really did not show up very well. I mean, especially that Iowa game, it was not even close from the start. So Indiana, once again, pretty tough start. I mean, I still believe Indiana's got a chance to make a bowl game and potentially a good one as well. But, I mean, it's just been a tough go at it so far in September for this Indiana team. But for Penn State, exact opposite. They beat Wisconsin 16-10, beat Auburn 28-20 as well. And by the way, that Wisconsin win was actually on the road in Madison, so pretty outstanding win there. They also have beaten Ball State and Villanova by significant margins. Some key points for this one: Indiana, of course, is 2-2. Penn State 4-0. Indiana, this could be a huge win for the Hoosiers. I mean, especially for Michael Penix, just to give him a little bit of confidence here. This could put Indiana at a 3-2 record, and overall, if you can win on the road in a night game in Penn State, that would be a huge win for Indiana. So lots at stake here for the Hoosiers. I mean, the chances of them winning are quite low, I would say, but Indiana's definitely got potential to pull off a big win here if they can, which Indiana, they've got the talent to pull off a big win here, but I mean, going on the road, it's going to be tough. In which, yeah, they need a momentum shift as well. This team is kind of in a tough situation where I mean, you've already got 2 losses on the season, and this team is trying to build back some momentum here, and this could be once again a huge win in rising that. For Penn State, very real chance to make the college football playoff this season. I mean, if they can make it to the Big Ten championship game, you're probably facing a not a very good Big Ten West opponent. I mean, Big Ten West this season isn't looking too good so far. I mean, you got Wisconsin, who's 1-2. Minnesota's not looking too good. Iowa's the main team to watch out for in that Big Ten West right now. I think it's pretty clear that Iowa's a big favorite to win that division right now. I mean, Penn State's got Iowa in a couple of weeks, so we'll see kind of where both teams are at in that matchup. But I mean, yeah, this Penn State team has got a very real chance, especially if they can win the Big Ten, which is possible for sure. I mean, who knows? Penn State could be in the top 4. They've got a lot more to lose than Indiana, though. That is the main thing. So there is a lot more pressure on Penn State here than Indiana. But Sean Clifford also off to a good start, without a doubt. So definitely watch out for him in this matchup. But let's get to the prediction. Indiana, Penn State. I've got Penn State getting the win here, 35-24. Got to go with the Nittany Lions. I mean, this Penn State team is extremely talented. They're playing very well so far this season. So, I mean, I don't see really any reason to believe that Indiana could pull a big upset, especially on the road in a night game. If this game was in Indiana, kind of a sleepy environment, I think that Indiana could definitely pull off a big win there without a doubt. But, I mean, yeah, we've seen Indiana pull off upsets there before without a doubt. So, I mean, having it in a night game, though, in Happy Valley, that's going to be a tough place for Indiana to try and get a win. So that being said, it's going to be 35-24. Got to go with the Nittany Lions here. But, yeah, probability 65% towards Penn State. So I am pretty confident that we see Penn State get the win here. And I'm also taking the over in this matchup as of right now. But that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup. And I appreciate you guys all watching. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. I'll see you guys later.